This episode is brought to you by the Law Office of Carlos A. Garcia. Serious cases require a serious lawyer. Board certified in criminal law.
How you doing, Carlos?
I'm doing well, brother. Thanks for calling.
Hey, thank you for answering, man. I know you're a busy guy, man, ¿verdad?
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, we try to stay busy all the time, Ron.
Yeah, y pues tú sabes, en el legal world nunca se acaba el trabajo, papá.
No, nunca duermes.
no duerme. Yeah. Oye, man, first of all, te quiero dar las gracias for, supporting the show and supporting our platform and all that. And pues, the last week I was telling all our fans that last week fui para tu oficina ahí en Mission, and I walked in and I was just in awe with all the articles that were framed on your wall, man. How long have you been doing this, Carlos?
Well, Rock, again, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to sponsor your programs. I feel honored and blessed to be able to do that. I think you all provide an important service for our community, and I think it's important to keep you all going as long as we can. I started I was licensed on May the 5th of 2005.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So it's been about 15 years that I've been practicing.
Well, man, from the looks of your walls in the office, it looks like you've been doing it for like 50 years, bro, because... I mean, there was so many accomplishments on the wall. I have never seen it. I've been in a lot of attorneys' offices, man, and I've never seen anything like that, man. I mean, when you walk in there, we've got a video of, like, you walk in there and there's articles of all your accomplishments in the courtroom. And one that really, caught my eye was the one about a case of a young girl that was murdered in the Mid-Valley, man. Can you, and you mentioned it was like your very first, one of your very first cases, ¿verdad?
Yes, sir. It was one of the very first cases, and it's an unfortunate and tragic what happened to Ida May Rodriguez, a young mother, 16-year-old, was found, tortured, shot, and burned on the side of a sugarcane field in the Wesco area, Mid-Valley area, and they found her baby alive, thank goodness. They found her baby and still in a car seat on the side of the road near the same area. The baby was unharmed, and the baby survived. Unfortunately for Miss Ida May, she passed away and she was killed. I was during that time, going back 2008. When I first started Rock, lawyers, what we'll do is, lawyers can be licensed to practice law, but, unless you search out those cases that are going to get you in the courtroom in front of a jury, you could spend the rest of your career behind a desk. I sought out the courtroom and I sought out being in front of juries. And so I had to, obviously, the courts are not going to appoint a young lawyer that just started to a capital murder case. My client was Juan Teo Hinojosa, and Juan was accused of capital murder. Also had a charge of murder. I think I sent you a copy of the indictment. Also kidnapping. Yeah. And he, didn't have any money. The guy was just really, really poor. He had an older lawyer had been appointed to represent him, and one of my mentors, Mr. Joseph Connors, who is board certified in criminal law, like the way I am, but he's an older lawyer that was appointed because he had so many years of experience. And I've been carrying his bags and others, trying to help out the lawyers, trying to work as an apprentice under them so they can give me the experience that I need. And I was appointed to help Mr. Connors, and I ended up taking the case and really being, we had 57 witnesses in that trial, and I questioned 56 of the 57 witnesses. There was over 250 pieces of evidence. The trial stretched over a couple of weeks. And Mr. Hinojosa was acquitted. He was charged with, again, the most serious charges of capital murder and murder. And fortunately for him, we ended up with an acquittal on those charges.
What was the reason that he was the one that they kind of focused on?
Yeah, and that's the interesting part of the story, Rock. And thank you for asking. What happened was you had an individual by the name of Samuel Villarreal.
Yes, sir.
Samuel Villarreal was actually the person he actually pled guilty to the crime. Mm-hmm. He pled guilty to 60 years and was sentenced to the state penitentiary for a term of 60 years. And he was on the run for a while after the murder, and he admitted his guilt in court, in open court. And Mr. Villarreal came out during the trial had a relationship with his with a minor at the time.
And Villarreal was 38 years old, right? He was 38 years old at the time.
That is correct. And there was, several witnesses that testified and come into court to talk about the life that Mr. Villarreal was leading at the time, and just a small time dealer in the Mid Valley area. And this is all public record. I mean, the trial was a public trial that the exhibits and the testimony was all part of the record. Mr. Villarreal came out during the trial, had a inappropriate relationship with some individuals. Specifically, there was some evidence that came to light about allegations of incest. Mm-hmm. And so there was this allegation of inappropriate behavior, and there was allegations of a lot of bad things, Rock, a lot of bad stuff that was going on, drugs and alcohol and inappropriate sexual behavior. And but he was never charged for those crimes because he pled guilty to 60 years. And I imagine the state's office doesn't want to beat a dead horse once they've already been sentenced to that much time. But there was videotape evidence that came out during the trial, and we were able to illustrate and show the jury through the state's witnesses. There was surveillance video that was taken from Walmart that showed Mr. Villarreal and his minor daughter purchasing the instruments of crime, purchasing tape, purchasing rope, purchasing material that they used to tie up and kidnap this young girl. She was kidnapped from a McDonald's right off the expressway there on Texas Street in Weslaco. Yeah. I mean, a place that we've all visited, and these are things that happen in our backyard. And unfortunately, the poor victim in this case was taken and she was, tortured and then shot and set on fire. Mr. Hinojosa came into the case because of allegations that were made by Mr. Villarreal and his minor daughter. They made allegations that in fact implicated Mr. Hinojosa.
Yeah, the young guy, the young kid. Yeah,
correct. Yeah, and so and my client professed his innocence, over and over again, and he did the right thing, and that was he maintained his innocence and he maintained his silence, which is a golden opportunity for people to exercise their Fifth Amendment right. Yes. To stay quiet, because the only thing that can happen whenever you're being questioned by law enforcement without the help of an attorney is that words can get mixed around, things can be misunderstood, and you just leave it up to a jury to listen to the evidence that's produced. Mr. Hinojosa did not testify in the trial. The evidence that we got from the state's witnesses. There are 56 witnesses, and 57 witnesses, and he was acquitted of the most serious charges in the case.
How tough is it to be involved in a trial like this? How emotionally taxing is it on an attorney to be involved in something that's just so brutal? I don't understand how you can go through that and not feel some sort of emotional response to it.
It's a natural human response, Rock, to feel for the victim in the case, for the victim's family, for everyone involved. But one of the overbearing or one of the overarching issues or feelings that I have, and is a commitment that I have to defend people. Yeah, and that in my estimation is a great calling for those of us who take it on, and it's something that helps me get through those difficult times whenever we're dealing with facts and issues that are as difficult to deal with as this. I mean, very graphic photographs, very graphic evidence and testimony from witnesses who are that they'll carry the weight of that loss for the rest of their lives. And so it's a difficult thing. It's a tightrope you have to walk. But it's something that I sincerely enjoy doing, and I take on that challenge on a daily basis.
It's incredible, and that young man's life was in your hands, and it could have just been the type of defense he would have had that would have never gone after the real truth, and that was something that was really really awesome for this young man to be able to have you as an attorney to defend him. And I mean, you were just starting your career back then, right?
That's correct. I had tried a couple of cases, on my own, only felony cases. I didn't try misdemeanor cases. I went right in and started trying felony cases. Like I said, there was great mentors that I had in my life. John Rivera, a former DPS trooper that became a defense lawyer, he really took me under his wing and helped me. Nereida Morales, another great lawyer. And also Mr. Joseph Connors, and there's others that we just sit here all evening and talk about the great lawyers in Hidalgo County. We have some really good lawyers in this county. I've tried cases all over the country, and the lawyers in this area, the lawyers who try cases in this area are very competent and very good at what they do. And so, it's just a testament to their ability and their willingness to help the younger lawyers like myself. When I say younger, I don't mean younger in age, because I had another career before I became a lawyer. Mm-hmm. But they take on the lawyers that don't have as much experience and help them and mentor them along the process.
How long did this entire trial last? How long did it take you?
Yeah, if memory serves, I think that the trial itself in front of the jury was about 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks. Obviously, the client he had no bond. On a capital murder, the state of Texas has the right to keep you in jail with no bond. And he had no bond in this case. And there's only two punishments if you're convicted of capital murder, and that's the death penalty or life in prison without parole.
Yeah.
And so, the trial itself took about 2 weeks. Before that, the guy sat in jail for about a year waiting to go to trial. And, that's about how long it took.
Wow. Well, thank goodness you were there to, defend him and protect him, Carlos. Ladies and gentlemen, the law office of Carlos A. Garcia, if you're injured in a serious accident or arrested on serious charges, you need an attorney that will fight for you in court, because serious cases require a serious lawyer. You can call Carlos at 956-584-1448, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 24 horas al día, 7 días a la semana, or visit his website at thegarciafirm.com. And you'll find all his information on there. He is board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. And I mentioned to my audience that not many lawyers can claim they have that certified in criminal law by the Texas Board certification, right?
That is correct, Rock. There's over 100,000 lawyers in the state of Texas, and there's 800 of us that have that certification.
If you've been injured in a serious accident or you've been arrested on some serious charges, you need an attorney that's going to fight for you. Carlos A. Garcia.
Obviously, if you're approached by a federal agency as it relates to an investigation, be it healthcare fraud, drug conspiracies, money laundering, bank fraud, any other federal crime, you want to remain silent. You want to talk to a lawyer who can give you real, honest advice.
Give them a call right away, 956-584-1448, because serious cases require a serious lawyer.
I'm Carlos A. Garcia, a criminal defense attorney in the Rio Grande Valley. I've been practicing criminal law for over 15 years. I'm board certified in criminal law, and I can help you with every problem you may have.
Board certified in criminal law, attorney Carlos A. Garcia.